Welcome back to the From Harvard with Love podcast. I am your host, Harvey World Drizzy. Question of the hour. Where the hell have I been? So, first of all, let's do some congratulations in order. We had our first episode go over 1K. I know that's not a lot to most people or to a lot of people, but it's a lot to me. It means a lot to me. It's my first one. We only like 12 videos into this thing, so we taking all of our accolades, all of them. So thank you guys for coming through, viewing the video. Make sure on your way in, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe. You know it helps us out. I'm gonna be more consistent now. So what we've been doing with those first few videos is I pretty much just been throwing stuff against the wall, trying to see what sticks. Turns out you guys really like the interview style content, and so we're gonna throw. I have plans to throw a few more of those in the works. We're gonna do those more regularly now. We're gonna have a call-in show coming up, but I think I'm gonna try to save that for either 100 videos or 1,000 subscribers, whichever one comes first. Stay tuned for that. But as I say, we build it as we fly it. So before I went on my hiatus, we were talking SYSBM, Save Yourself Black Man. And I must admit, if originally, I didn't have an issue with these guys originally. I just, from what I saw, they were just guys traveling outside of the U.S. They're finding that the women in these other countries treat them a lot better than the Western women. I understand how they come to that conclusion, so there was no real argument with me there. But I had the honor, the privilege of being educated by the illustrious Courtney Michelle, and we had a panel. It was a long one. It was a long one. It was almost 7 hours. I want to say like 6 hours and 40 minutes. But she educated us. She actually did the research, and she brung up what SYSBM, where it came from, what it stands for, and they actually have 21 or 22, I don't remember, some tenements though. They read almost like commandments. Diabolical. No, I'm not gonna lie. It's not all bad. It's not all bad. A few of the tenements, I could understand. I could understand why they came up with all of them. I just don't agree with them. The vitriol that they have for the black woman, I can't even necessarily say the black woman, because it seems like they talk about the Western woman, period. But more specifically, the black woman in the black community, they believe is dead. I can't subscribe to that. And so because of that, I am pretty much an enemy combatant of SYSBM. I'm not gonna say that because I don't really, and this is where I get in trouble with them, even on the panel. It's because I accuse them of running. They don't like that. But their philosophy is, they're literally, running from black women. That's what they're literally doing. They're leaving America for the express intent of finding. But that's the thing. They actually are looking for like maybe Afro Latinas. It's the American black woman, to be specific. But it is my belief that everything, like Alan says over at the We Need to Talk podcast, our major, what we do here in America, we output is culture. So the women here are going to shape the women everywhere. With globalization and the internet, what our women, it's only a matter of time before it reaches overseas, and all of them are the same. So the issue, you can't run from it. And now, these guys believe these women are more feminine and submissive to them strictly because they're just men, and that's the culture. In many places, this is the truth. But in those same places, in most places, those women are going to be more submissive to you because you are American. You have a blue passport. It's like the golden ticket at Willy Wonka's factory. Of course, they're going to be feminine to you. they want to come to the land of milk and honey. Even if they don't want to come over here, even if they want to stay over there, you're an American. Your earning potential is high everywhere. I'm not going to get into all of the benefits it comes with dating an American overseas, but let's be for real. It's not just simply because you're a man that you're getting this treatment. I had the pleasure of meeting a bunch of, cool guys, who pages I've since followed, starting with Richie Mac over at Zoom to Thailand. I'm gonna leave the link in the description for you guys to go over there, like, comment, and subscribe on his page as well. He has a travel channel. And so he was, I believe, educated on SYSBM at the same time I was educated, because he had heard of them before, just like me. We've heard of them, but we didn't know what they exact mission statement was, if you will. I can't get down with the mission statement, nor could Richie. Richie, he's over there in Thailand, Pattaya Beach, Thailand. I'm very familiar with the area. I used to have some crazy stories on Walking Street over there. Yeah, it's a nice place, beautiful island. He's over there, but he didn't go over there running from black women. He didn't go over there running from any women. He went over there looking for business. I want to say it was an Airbnb. He had Airbnbs. He was going over to pick up another property or searching for another property, and he got stuck over there because of COVID. While he was stuck over there, he was immersed in the culture. I cannot hate on that. So he teaches travel, benefits of travel, and all of those things. So if that's something that you're interested in, which I do believe men should travel, especially outside of the country, you need to see what this world has to offer. So I'm not against it in that way. So make sure you guys go over there, give him a like and a comment, or subscribe, whatever you want to do, if that's what you want to do. Another guy that we had, who do we have? 1MT, One Master Teacher. I'll leave the link for him also. He's a Air Force guy. He's coming up on retirement. He also lives overseas, but I believe in like the UK or something. He has a financial channel, and he also does travel as well. However, I don't believe he either believes it will call himself SYSBM. I've never heard him say that on his channel, so I don't believe he's a part, but he do share some of the same vitriol those guys share for the black woman. And like I said, if anybody know, I know how black women can be. So I get where these guys come to these conclusions. Like I said, another benefit, he didn't go overseas running from anything. His military career led him over there, and he just was immersed in the culture. For that, I can't fault a guy for that. So another cool dude. I think he's headed for retirement sometime early next year, the end of this year. I know he can't wait to get that DD-214 in his hands. It ain't nothing like it. And yeah, go ahead, give him a subscribe too, if that's what you into. You need any financial advice and stuff like that. That's what he does over there. 16 years of experience, I believe I read on his page. So go over there and give him a subscribe as well. Who else we have? We had Nathan Daley, another powerful brother, ex-police officer, I believe. He called me a simp of all people. Well, he didn't say I was a simp, but that's the same shit. He said I was caping. I was Batman for the bitches that day. It is funny because anybody who know me, as a matter of fact, go and follow me on Facebook. That's where I'm probably the most active, or on IG. So it's 2 IG pages. You got the Harvey World Drizzy page, and then you got the Drizzy Got Band page. The Harvey World Drizzy page is if you want to give me any topics, you want to reach me anything business-wise, collabs, anything like that, you want to DM Harvey World Drizzy 1D. If you should so happen to give a fuck about me as a person, then the Drizzy Got Band is my personal account. You'll find family shit. Like, to keep it mean, it's not a whole lot going on over there, but feel free to come through. All right, so today we going over a video from one of my favorite channels, probably my favorite channel. And And I actually earned a lot of my, I owe a lot of my success, if you will, to this guy, because him reposting my stuff and not requesting, but he was the one that got me in contact with Courtney Michelle. Courtney Michelle knows of me through him, and that's Alan Obi over at the We Need to Talk podcast. So, or not podcast, We Need to Talk channel. So what we're gonna do, we actually have he had one of his latest videos. He was actually speaking on the SYSBM with another beautiful young lady. I already watched it all the way through, so we're gonna jump around a bit. It's about 40 minutes long, I believe. So we're gonna jump around a bit. I'm gonna leave the link in the description to the video for you guys to go and finish it. And we're gonna do what we do here. We're gonna break it down, and put my little take on it. So without further ado, let me get this set up.
How can you control the experience that women have with you?
Come on.
So that it's not just about your bank account and your height. Because we already talked about women are willing most often to fix men. So if they're not wanting to work with you, it's probably not about what you think it is.
Listen, it's the message right here. Black boy, tell me how you really feel. Cause I just wanna build with you. Black girl, tell me how you really feel. I wanna keep it real with you. I wanna live better, eat better. I wanna love better, sleep better. Yeah, I wanna feel so aligned. Sublime.
So, have you ever heard the term "save yourself, black man"?
I have.
Okay. What do you understand it to mean or to represent?
Is that with the whole initiative of if the black women aren't going to do it, then go to the ones that will? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
So men are going to Asia and South America and this and that. So I've been having two conversations. I've been telling the women, hey, your best and brightest are leaving. So y'all need to get your shit together. Mm-hmm. And I've been telling the men that if we do our due diligence and understand the context that we operate in, we shouldn't be so quick to leave, right? We need to fight for our community. So what are your thoughts on these men going somewhere else?
So I have mixed feelings. I feel like, I feel that we should go in places where we are appreciated, valued, understood, all of those different things. I do believe in the necessity and the importance of, Black families and that kind of thing. And I do think that it would be nice to make it work with Black women. I think that would be ideal in my head, at least.
Mine too.
But I do feel like, similar to how you're probably feeling about the men, I feel like Black women have to do better too. I say this, I feel like women in general, have ruined dating. And I feel like that might be a hot take.
You think?
Take it. Take that shit. Go ahead, take that shit. Go ahead.
I think that in general, people teach other people how to treat them. Mm-hmm. And I think that, okay, so you've probably heard this before, that women control sex, men control access to relationships. I believe that women are supposed to have more control over relationships than what we are currently exercising.
Say more. You can hear this.
I think one of the benefits when you talk about the benefit of being a feminine woman or being, a confident woman or any of the things that you would associate with a good woman or a desirable woman, those have the ability to shift energy, to move rooms, to influence behavior. Mm-hmm. And I feel that we're not taking that power, and it could be because there's a lack of femininity and there's a lack in,
Bingo. That's exactly what it is, though. It's that lack of femininity. Femininity and submission is something that I guess Black women are going away from. Well, especially submission for a fact. But what they don't understand is that there's power in that submission. I always use the the symbol of yin yang because I feel like it's the best depiction of it. They're both equally as powerful. Masculinity and femininity are equally as powerful. Same, but different. They have the same amount of power, but they influence is different. Women no longer respect or find value in that feminine energy, that feminine power that they have anymore. And in their defense, I believe it's because they don't have faith in the men. It's loss of faith in us. A vote of no contest, or they don't believe we had the capacity to lead them where they need to be. And so, like I always say, this thing is not just one-sided. It's not all on the women. It's not all on the men. We both have to get up off our ass and do a whole lot of work. Femininity is like, masculinity is being attacked, which is just like kind of forcing men to be more feminine and women to be more masculine. You got men running around here talking about they the prize. I understand the concept and where that comes from because of the work that you're going to do. But I forget who said it, but I heard this somewhere and he was like, what does a prize do? What does a trophy do? A trophy sits on a shelf. Men aren't trophies. We're tools. You have a trophy wife. You're not a trophy husband. A tool is only useful if it's only worth anything if it's useful, if it can be used. If it's a broken tool. So men need to understand that we're always going to be beloved for what we do. That's just the way life is. That's a part of that same but different. Because the more you can do, the more you're going to be loved. It's the more people you can touch. I'm gonna let them get back in. I'm not gonna ramble too much.
Those traits and characteristics that have the ability to do that. But I think for women that have those traits, they're allowing men to do things without there being responsibility attached to it. Mm-hmm. So like, I'm all for the whole idea of like being.
I lied. I'm gonna stop it a lot. I'm just playing. No, but for real, that's another issue. Access to sex. It's so easy now. It's so easy. I was watching, there was a compilation of this guy. He was out, he was asking women about their relationship status, and they were all saying, no, I don't do relationships. I'm more solo. I do one night stands. Like they were saying it like, oh, marriage. I don't do marriage. What? Like they were discussing the women. It's not the men now. Now I could, if it was men, I get it. It's been like that. But for women to be acting like, oh, I just want to have one night stands, blah, blah, blah. This is crazy. And so now, like, you hear all the cliches, like, wow, I'm gonna buy the cow if I get the milk for free. You hear all of this shit, and they still running down that same path. They not getting nothing. They you giving the sex away to everybody, and then when you ready to settle down at 30, with 30 bodies or more, now you want that good guy, that guy who had his head down, you know, charging along, saving up 401k, whatever it is that you see as successful. He's been doing the right things. Now you want that guy to come through and foot the bill for you and Pookie kids. Most of the time, because let's be for real, most of the time at the age of 30, you got at least a couple of Pookie kids in tow for evidence of your bad decisions.
Submissive and all that, but there's responsibility attached to a man that has a submissive woman.
That's a fact.
Okay.
So or that whole like leader, like a man that is a leader, that implies that he knows where he's going. That implies that he's able to take me on a path that is filled with purpose. And so if he is not in alignment with that, he can't take me there. So us women, we have to, one, be intentional about who we're seeking after. But then two, if we find someone that, okay, he's on the right path, he's on the right track, he has the ability to lead, we have to make sure that we're positioning ourselves in a way where, one, we're not causing him to derail himself from whatever that is that he's trying to lead us to. But then two, that
It's funny that she brung up the derailment. Me and my homie, y'all used to watch Power Rangers. I'm 35 years old. I grew up on the Power Rangers. I used to rush home to watch that shit. We equate women to putties. They not powerful like hoes, right? Dusties, they the fucking putties. Like, they not powerful enough to really do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Power Rangers never even had to morph most of the time to whoop their ass. But they waste your time. They get in the way right before the main event. That's what hoes do. That's what dusties are in men of all walks of life. Because I was going to say just the high value, but it ain't just them that they get in the way. They will get in your way. They will waste your time, fellas. They will waste your time for most frivolous reasons. Deal with it all the time. They gonna call your phone. How many of y'all know they gonna call your phone up and ask you to do some shit that has nothing to do with your purpose? Try to get you off track. They not thinking about your purpose. But what you don't understand is, like, I watch what's the little kid name? I don't want to call him a kid. He like 23 years old. Sneeko. And he just be so frustrated with women and simps too, and I get why he is. But he think you just gotta treat them like shit. That's what he say all the time. Treat them like shit and they'll love you. But it's almost true. It's not treat them like shit. It's something got to be in front of them. Your purpose. Your purpose got to be in front of them. They gonna try to steal as much time away from that purpose as they possibly can, but a strong man, the one that she's gonna trust, is not gonna allow her to do that. See, what you mean, a lot of guys don't understand is when you a people pleaser and you going around and you trying to give her everything that she wants, the issue with that is she no longer respects you. She don't want to hear no, but she want to hear no. Say that shit and stand on it. A lot of times you don't even do it. My favorite thing is to say no and don't explain myself. Nah. Can you do? Nah. Don't let them get in your way.
We're just in a position to be able to like receive that and to contribute towards that. And we prevent that from happening when we accept foolishness.
Pookie.
So
Pookie is foolish.
I believe that most men don't just have like this innate desire to get married. Like, most men, I think, are okay if like you get married or you don't. It's like, it's cool. I mean, you know, I think women lead that front. I think most men would be okay with a situationship where it's like, we just kind of see each other, but like, there's no strings attached. Relationships happen when women put pressure on them or when they put some sort of boundaries around what is required to have access to me.
That is another
and that's
key.
The part where
that is another key. What you have to put prerequisite in place. Pussy mismanagement is at an all-time high in these streets. Y'all don't understand the value of what you sit on because you wouldn't give it away so frivolously. The thing that I have the biggest issue with is that most of the things that we judge women on anyway are subjective and intangible. Beauty is an eye of the beholder. You can be 400 fucking pounds and you're still beautiful. That's neither here nor there. You see what I'm saying? I'm a good mom. Why? You're a good mom because the child is alive? Or are you a nutritionist and you feed your child the best? Or are you a school teacher and your child reads at a higher level than most? What makes you a good mom as opposed to a regular mom or a mom, right? These things are all intangible, and men dare not push against a woman's motherhood or her womanly duties or what they do here on earth. I get it, but with men, our things are valued. They're usually more tangible, things you can see, feel, touch. Even down to the 6'6", the 3'6" mafia, right? Even down to 6'6", those are actual things. The dick size is actually measurable. You said over 6 inches. It's measurable. The financial thing, it's 6 figures. That's measurable. Height, it's 6 foot. That's measurable. like literally measurable things that we are judged by, that we are rated and graded on. But anybody can be beautiful because everybody's beautiful to someone. Fuck out of here. It's weird.
We're dropping the ball. Because if women en masse said, you won't just sleep with us without a commitment, you won't just, I'm not even taking you seriously or cutting off other options until you take me seriously and present me with a ring or present me with, some extended form of commitment.
That's fair.
If all women said today, we're not doing that anymore, men would get on board.
And this is all I'm usually saying. And the pushback I usually get from women is, why can't men just be better? So that's like me saying, hey, listen, lady, in this yard, it's a bunch of wild dogs. If you go back there, they'll bite you. You should probably not go back there. And the lady look you in your face and say, oh, you should tell the dogs not to bite me. I can go where I want. Sure. She goes back there, she get her ass bit up. Whose fault is that? You were warned. Pookie and Ray Ray is the fucking dogs in the backyard. Chad and Tyrone too. They all in that fucking same yard. And so the issue is y'all keep fucking going back there and getting bit and then blaming all men. You found these niggas in the dog yard, in the dog pound. That's where you found these niggas at. You can't blame all of us for these motherfuckers that you went and found. You went and searched them out. You chose them. You submitted to them purely and utterly when you opened your legs and let them drill you. Put a baby in you and ruin your life, probably the life of that child. Women have to be more accountable because you hold the key to access to sex. Y'all not running around here getting knocked over the head and taken advantage of. And these dudes aren't master manipulators. Stop telling me that shit. They not these great narcissists that are just like, no, they're not calculated. They're not smart. They're not intelligent. These guys aren't rizzing y'all up. Y'all are just fucking falling for the stupid. You have a broken rubric that you choose men by. And now you choose these damn gigolos and you get mad at all of the other men because now whenever you see attractive men, the first thing that comes to your mind is really competition, but it comes out of your mouth as, I bet you got all the hoes, huh? Ma'am, no one has time for that shit. Compete or get the fuck out my face.
I'm halfway.
What you thinking, Alan?
I'm halfway agree with you. So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Let me not even say halfway. It's like 70-30. I mostly
I'm about to say, you gotta be a little higher.
I think what's tough though, and you mentioned in the beginning, some women go after projects,
right?
Because they want to kind of take pride in or take ownership in, I made you, right? Like the Keisha KO, or I turned this guy into this guy. So I'm not going to talk as much about
why all these kingmaker women never make their baby daddies. Like, I'm just saying, like, right. So if childbirth, right, that's the first thing a female who has done nothing but have ovaries will bring up is that we birth children, we birth the world. You do. Nobody's taking that from you. But what I'm saying is, don't you think you should treat that, if that's the highest gift you shouldn't you treat that with a little bit more respect? Like, so sex is where babies come from, right? And your biggest hoorah, your biggest accolade in life is going to be being a mom, right? Because you birthed the world. So why would you don't just birth the world, you choose who's born. You the one, y'all get to choose which sauce to cook these babies with. And you pick crackheads.
About them, even though we could. I want to talk more about the women who get with a quote unquote good dude, dude whose train is going in the right direction, and they question him every step of the way. So it's almost
annoying.
like there is from the male perspective,
you're not good enough, nigga.
There's a sense of like you're coming in this in bad faith. Like, as much as I've done to prove myself or to build myself or to make sure that I'm going in the right direction for myself, there's still a condescending, you don't know what you're doing, dude. Right. And that's what I speak to more so, because I'm more so like that guy versus the guy who needs building. But it's like, even doing all the right things, there still is that pushback of, are you sure we're going in the right direction? And I end up telling people, like, was I going in the right direction before you got here? And if I am, why do you constantly question me? Even though I've proven to you at every step of the way that I know what I'm doing. So why is it that even with the quote unquote good dude or Russell Wilson, or, you know, there still is that sense of you a little boy?
I think that in those situations, like, definitely some healing needs to happen. I think that I believe most issues that arise in relationships are as a result of trust. And it may not be that she doesn't trust him. It may be that she doesn't trust herself.
Ooh. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I mean, because we have to think about it. So, like, even when we think about children, when we think about, like, the idea of secure attachment with kids, you know, the idea is like, okay, if I have this child and then I leave the room, does the child feel secure in the idea that I'm going to come back and I'm going to care for this child, you know, adequately? And so you see a difference in behavior from children that have like an insecure attachment versus that attachment that we just talked about, like a secure attachment. I think the same thing happens in relationships as we're adults. So that same tendency that we had as children where we didn't feel securely attached to our parents or our caregiver, we translate it over into relationships, because typically how we show up in one area translates to other areas. So the person that you are, and if you're not trusting in your relationship, you're probably not trusting in friendships and in business partnerships. Like, it tends to translate across the spectrum. So I think that we have to get to that trust.
I'm not sure the correlation there, but we're going to skip ahead. We're going to skip ahead because she said something that I actually did not agree with. I think it's right around here somewhere.
Themselves in a position to get chose. So if you're sitting at home in the quiet confines of your home and you never see men, you don't go out and you don't put yourself in a position for people to even approach you or see you or be sociable with people, you're not going to find, no matter how much self-work you do, you're not even going to find people that could be a good fit for you. Similar with men. If you're sitting behind a desk or, you know, trying to make money and working, and that's what consumes your life, you're not even going to be around the women that you would even want to take, you know, further. So you have to put yourself in position too. I think that's the other thing. And you don't need a whole bunch of options. Like, you don't need 300 women to choose from. The problem is a lot of men, even if they see the type of woman that they would want, because women are so easily accessible, it's harder for men to make decisions on women when they see them.
What do you mean?
I feel like now it's easier. Like I already talked about, I think women have ruined dating. So it's easy. If you want to have sex, it's easy. If you want someone that has no boundaries and no expectations, it's easy to find somebody like that. And she will go out of her way for you. She will cook for you. She will clean for you. She won't ask for anything in return. It's easy to find those women.
I think men would disagree.
Yeah.
The reason why they're leaving is because they can't find that woman.
Let's be honest, though. If you wanted to, like, any man watching this, if they wanted to have sex in the next 30 minutes, is there someone that they could call to do that?
No.
You don't.
This is what they believe. And this is what they believe. And this is why they believe it. So the reason they believe that, well, the reason she believes that, look at her face looking crazy. Outside of that face, she's actually an attractive girl, right? And so her eye is going to be on those top level guys. She looked pretty put together, right? So because of that, her eye is going to be on those top level guys, which, to be honest, everybody's eyes on those top level guys. So for those top level guys, this may be true. This absolutely could be true. There's somebody that they could call. That's a fact. But for the average guy, which is most of us, most people are average. That's not the truth. some crazy number, like 30% of men are virgins or sexless at the age of 30. 30% is crazy.
I think most men have a woman that they can call.
Listen, and this is the thing. I think, unfortunately, what tends to happen is, and I have to do this too as a man, women are predisposed to only see, women are hypergamous. Mm-hmm. So most of the time, proverbially speaking, most women's heads are up. Mm-hmm. So they're only kind of seeing men who are here or higher, right? So they project the expectations of these men on these men when the vast majority of men are here.
Yeah.
Most men can't just call up a girl and get some pussy.
These men.
Really?
Really? Oh my God.
Really? Like, not
Absolutely.
even like she's a 10, but like there's not like.
She probably on somebody's speed dial. She probably somebody's call. I don't know her life, but I'm just saying that's why she can't believe it. That's why they can't believe it, because the story that they tell themselves is that we just these colossal whores. But in actuality, we gotta earn the right to sex. Like, we have to be chosen. And y'all are not just choosing, y'all are all choosing the same guys. So like it's a stat that I think I looked it up, and it turned out to be actually false. That they always say, oh, it's like 20% of the guys is impregnating all the women. It ain't that bad, but it's similar. That's pretty much what's going on, just not at that crazy clip. But you're only going to be looking at the guys that are over 6 foot. You're only looking at the top echelon of guys, like the 1%ers, is who these very average women. That's what Kevin Samuels' whole page was about. If you guys didn't get it, what he was trying to show you is these basic, average, below average, a lot of the time, women are all asking for the same thing. They all asking for tall, dark, and handsome, and rich. They want their socks knocked off. They want they stomachs full. You know what I mean? They want to drive exotic cars and go on vacation. They want to travel. That's top notch on their list. They got 3-4 kids, but I want to travel. Diabolical. Deplorable.
All men can't call a 4.
No.
Really?
Because 4 is calling 10s.
This is news to me.
And this is the thing.
This is news to me.
For most women, you can. Most women can. Even the women who don't look good, they can.
That's a fact for women.
Most dudes of a certain level can. But it's so many male virgins right now. It's ridiculous. Especially like Gen Z, even our millennials. Yeah.
So who are these women that are 3s? Who are they calling?
The same dude.
This what? Upper echelon.
See, because that means that there's a problem with the men here. Like at this certain level that you're talking about, that would be a problem if men are dealing with the men that.
It's a problem with the men here. She just admitted that women they control the access to sex. She just admitted that. She took that power on herself. But at the same time, because men, that was a problem with the men because they opportunists. Sex is sex. Like, I don't gotta like you. Like, I saw floating around online. It's a clip of a guy. I should know his name. I don't. Dreaded guy, big beard. Y'all probably all saw it. And he's talking about how, how men will have sex with women that they aren't even attracted to and they don't like. Yeah. I always tell my friends, pussy is like pizza. When it's good, it's really good. And when it's bad, it's still pretty good. So, yeah, he will partake long as it ain't funky or diseased. It's pretty much it's an easy win. It's an easy win. They'll do it. So we're not wired that way.
That can get any woman are dealing with 3s and everybody like all.
And that's another thing. He can get any woman, but there's different levels to this. Maybe he ain't trying to work. Big Shirley ain't gonna make him work. Big Shirley gonna be available. You hear what I'm
Men
saying?
aren't sexually selective.
That's a problem.
Okay, we're about to get into some good conversation now. So, okay, here's the thing. Here's what's.
Because I would think the threes should be.
Look, we didn't let it go farther now. Like I said, I'm gonna leave the link in the description so you guys could y'all could go and finish out the video. But the SYSBM guys, I get it. I get why. What led it to start. Why it's growing in prominence. Why they're getting bigger and bigger by the day. I could understand it, especially with the state of our women in America right now. It's like this sexual liberation movement and F and all of that good shit, right? And women being forced to be more masculine because they're having to be in more masculine places because they're the breadwinner. Black woman is head of household right now. They say the black community is the only community that's a matriarchy. The women are in charge. They ran all the men off, and now you got all the you got the women in charge, and it's to the detriment because they moved the man out. They moved all your authority, your power, your masculinity. They moved it out of the home, and they replaced it with a job. And just a few things just can't be true, and it's what sucks. It's like men, we know when we go to work that we sacrifice that time with our children. We understand that. The reason most men, married men especially, the nuclear family worked so good is because I left for work, or the man left for work knowing that his children was being cared for by their mother. Nobody loves them kids more than that mother. But that's just not the situation typically in America today. In America today, mama is working. So now your children are, no matter how you put it, no matter how much money you spend, they're at risk. If they're not in your care, they're at risk. When they're even at school, they're not in your care. Look what happened to Uvalde. I mean, these things are just facts. And so some of the things like going to school and stuff, you can't, I mean, I guess you can homeschool your kids, but I'm not trying to tell anybody to be that extreme. What I'm saying is just like two things can't be true. You're not going to be men know that they're not going to be father of the year and be CEO at the same time. We understand that going in. It's fucked up as it sounds. They make a conscious decision to not be there for them kids because you're going to be there in other ways. And the only reason we can make that decision or feel comfortable making that decision is knowing that the only person that loves them as much as me is going to be there for them. Like I said, I understand women. There are some women that just have a higher capacity for business endeavors, for entrepreneurship, for leadership. We got women CEOs, and the world needs you. But what I am saying is that, especially in the black community, you don't fit the archetype. A lot of you don't. You wasting your time with frivolous careers and disrespecting men when really what you need to do is get yourself some manners, be more feminine, more fit and friendly, find you a man to save you, because like Unc used to say, winter is coming. It's always coming for everybody. We work better together. Yin and yang. We work better together. Point blank period. This is 2022. So this tradition might not work in all situations. We got to be critical thinkers as black people, as people, period. As people, period. We got to be critical thinkers. You gotta shape your own relationship. Find your person, find somebody who can be authentically themselves in front of you and make it work. But that's all I got for you guys tonight. I want you to go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. And I'm gonna be more consistent. I promise this time. I got a couple interviews lined up that's definitely gonna be really powerful. Definitely gonna be really powerful. So stay tuned for those. I'm gonna be more active. I'm gonna try to get. There is no try. I'm going to get you guys 3 videos a week from now on. So y'all stay tuned. Subscribe so you can be notified when I drop new videos. Peace.
Just me, my lady, I don't need no guys. Just me, my lady, I don't need no guys.
Hand squad.
Just me, my lady, I don't need no guys. Headed to the top, I don't need no ride. I'm so fly, how fly is he? I can stop now, let the beat just ride. Niggas like,
Might as well join them.
nothing we can do to defeat those guys. Us to the world like Bonnie and Clyde. She was there when niggas wouldn't loan me a dime. She was there when I was feeling lonely inside. Niggas not real cause it's all in disguise. I can feel the hate cause it's all in your vibe. Diamond in the rough, yeah, star on the rise. Big confidence, that's all on my stride. Money, 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 that's all on my mind. Yeah, see, it's just me and my yo lady. Born all in the 90s, but our soul came from the 80s. I know she'll get on your ass if you ever tried to play me. Got her back, she got my front, that's how it been round this bitch lately. Bro, nigga don't wanna hang.